Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to Commute Talk once again. So today, Bud Labs writes in. I mean, he wrote in a while ago, but I'm still catching up on the question queue. Appreciate all the questions, by the way. So Bud Labs writes in asking about licenses. He notes that I'm using the two-clause BSD license for Serenity. He talks about how he uses MIT license himself, and asking, like, is this stuff important? And have I ever regretted a license? So that's a few interesting questions in there. I do think licenses are important, and I'm personally a fan of the BSD license, or the two-clause BSD license. I have absolutely no problem with the MIT license. I like the BSD license for historical reasons, and I like the BSD, the history of the BSD operating system. But the MIT license would be just fine for my stuff as well. But I definitely do not like the GNU public license. I feel that me personally, I feel that it is a sad thing when a project puts this extreme restrictions on itself by licensing it under the GPL. I understand that many people feel that those restrictions are good things, and I respect the people who put out software under the GPL. But the sad thing is that as much as their intentions may be good, the reality of the GPL is that it excludes like thousands of people from using that software because of licensing requirements in companies, and that's very sad. Like, I've worked in many places where there were fantastic projects that we would have loved to make use of, and we would have loved to contribute back to, but we were just not able to because they were GPL licensed. So I understand that it's designed that way because that's the way they want it. I just find it really sad. So I license my own things under the BSD license because I don't want to exclude anyone from using my software for whatever reason they want to use it, right? Like, I don't care if someone wants to take out one line of code or the whole thing or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Like, if someone can make some use of the software, then that's great. And I guess I should mention that I have worked at a company that has taken like public open source projects and adopted them for their own use, and kept contributing back to the open source project, or forked it or whatever, and maintained it as an open source project. And the argument that companies just want to steal code and hide their changes in private and whatever, it's, in my experience working at large companies that do use open source software, this is just not really true. And I've seen companies that want to take software and hide the changes, and these companies, they happily take GPL software and just change it and don't tell anyone what they did. So the companies that do this, in my experience, they don't care about the license anyway. Anyways, just my feeling about that, or my opinion and my experience. But on the question of have I ever regretted a license, I have to say yes. So many years ago, when I was a young whippersnapper, as Lunduk would say, then I took over maintenance of a talk client, like this Unix talk protocol client called YTalk, because I used to use YTalk every day to talk with my friends in school. We had these shell accounts on each other's home routers and whatever, and we ran YTalk on them to talk to each other. and it was awesome. But there were some things that we wanted to get fixed. We wanted some more features. And like the YTalk program was not being actively developed, so I took it upon myself as a very young man to take over this thing, and I did, and I put out 1 or 2 releases. I don't remember how many, but it's beside the point. But when I took over the project, YTalk was registered under something that was called like the Y Public license, which was a license written by the original author of YTalk, whose last name starts with a Y, hence YTalk and Y Public license. And when I put out releases of YTalk, then I got in touch with various package maintainers from distributions. And there was this guy from Debian, I think, who kind of, I wouldn't say he pushed me, but like he kind of nudged me to ask if I couldn't get the software relicensed under the GPL instead, because that would be really nice, because then Debian could get rid of supporting this custom Y Public license, and he sort of tried convincing me that it would be a good thing to support one less custom license that only one project uses. And I kind of bought the argument that he made, and I got in touch with the original author and asked if it would be okay to relicense under the GPL, and I got his blessing for that. And in a way, I have to respect what the original author wanted there, but I regret not thinking more about this at the time, and I regret sort of being nudged towards relicensing something that was under a more permissible license and putting it under the GPL. Now, I don't imagine that. I mean, it was like YTalk was already quite outdated software at the time. Like it didn't have like Unicode support or anything like that. Not that you need it, not that you need that, but it was already like not popular. So it wasn't the end of the world or anything. And I really regret relicensing YTalk under the GPL. I think that I'm very sad when I see good software under the GPL, because I know the thousands of people that are unable to use this great stuff because of the GPL, and it's sad. So Serenity is under the 2-clause BSD license, which is the one I personally like the most, I guess. But it's just like a flavor, like MIT BSD 2, 3-clause. These are flavors, right? And what else? They're like X11, or I don't even remember if X11 and MIT license is the same thing. I'm not the most knowledgeable about licenses. I'm not going to pretend that I'm well read on this stuff. But I understand the basics of the GPL and the LGPL and the BSD licenses, and picking between those 3, which I guess are the 3 most common in open source, BSD is the one I like. So I guess that's my thoughts about licenses. What license do you like? Why do you like it? Why do you want to force other people to do things your way? Or why do you want to permit people to do things their way? What's important to you? I don't know. Let's hear it. It's interesting. Like, people have very different motivations for choosing licenses. I just want the most people possible to be able to use whatever I make. That's the thing that's important to me. And I try to be practical about it, and I try to draw from personal experience into what actually happens when companies come across open source software. Anyways, I guess that's that. So just going to say thanks for the question. Please send more questions if there's anything you would like to hear about on Commute Talk, your favorite Commute show. And thanks for hanging out with me on the commute. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.